Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to this edition of the Tuesday Telecast. I'm Lydia, and I am the host and owner of this telecast where I often bring other people on. And today it's just me, and we're going to talk about the lightness of being. So, tell me, you all can tell me in the chat and whatever if there is something that you want to ask. And until then, let's just dive into it. So, there's a thing that so many of us are pushing on the socials, right? And that is joy and is being happy and fulfillment. And the thing is, there's a lot of different ways of going about it, right? So I just want to sort of talk philosophically about this. We are in our own right, and when we're born, we are absolutely meant to be there and we belong. And then we start saying that we don't, we're not good enough for this, or we're not good enough for that. And a lot of us are saying, yeah, we are enough. We are enough. And when we show up, this is how we can be our most authentic selves. It's a lot of work. In fact, so many of us are trying to work so hard all the time and be happy and psychoanalyze ourselves. How do I be happy? I can just be happy. Oh, I need to get EMDR. I need to do a lot of different things to get rid of my trauma. I need to tell my story about my trauma. I need to get to a place where I have a better job. I need to find the love of my life. So, where is the lightness in all of this? There sure comes a place where we have this lightness, and I'm taking a moment here to highlight that Dr. Marcia is here, Jackie Scully is here, Cindy Dean is here, and it's great to have you all. So let's talk about this, and if you have any questions, let me know, because I'm looking at this is the hardest thing, is looking at the messages and getting them up there. So Jackie, yeah, just being, working on balance and just want to be. This is an incredibly important thing. And how often do we do that thing, that hedonistic thing of having that ice cream, of having that, playing that video game, having that time. You can almost think that it's like hedonistic to go out and just put your face in the sun, because you're taking care of yourself, right? Now, hedonism is something that it's not all bad, right? Once in a while, some hedonic um, pleasures are cool. Having that piece of chocolate, having that. But when we start feeling heavy afterwards, after that video game, after that movie, what is going on there? How do we get past that? How do we get find the place where we're taking care of ourselves, and we also are not hurting ourselves. And this is that delicate balance between where it gets heavy and where it starts to feel light. So I named this the lightness of being, because what is it that we are looking for? We look for contentment. We look for happiness. We look for joy. We look for healing. Ultimately, where we find that this stuff comes together is when we feel light. So let's talk about joy. You can be really joyful when your kid wins a football game. You can be really joyful when you see someone that you love, and you can actually experience joy and yet still not be content. So, I want to suggest that this comes down to partially to love. Who are you and what do you love? I have found that I love everything. And there are things that I'm not aligned with, but when we love, that brings us more of a peace and an understanding and an empathy and communication, compassion, and letting it be. Still, I'm not talking about that kind of love. I'm talking about, what do you love? What is at your heart? A lot of us don't know our purpose. And this is what I'm driving at, is that we don't have to know our purpose right away. I mentor some students from Berklee College of Music, and the biggest thing is that they love the music. But what do you love? What do you love about it? What do you love out in the world? What do you love about yourself? What do you love? Do you love dogs? Do you love birds? Do you love football? Do you love ice cream? What do you love? Do you love the feeling of community? Do you love family? Do you love the act of creation? Do you love to solve problems? Do you love to be on a train and think? What you love has so much to do with what your purpose is, or what you will enjoy and be most aligned to. The more we enjoy and are aligned, the more we raise our vibration, and we can rise up and be happy. But it's more than just happiness. I'm going to take a look at the things here that I'm seeing. I love I love some of these comments: taking care without guilt or going overboard with whatever. And in such a busy world, it's all about doing. How can we find the lightness in just being? And that's what we're getting at here. Ex- and here's, oh my goodness, I need somebody to do this for me. Experience joy and still not feel content. Yeah, that's where that's where we're going. We're looking the at how we can be in our moment joyful, but stay in our moment. When we find our presence in ourselves, we connect more to the earth, to spirit, to those around us, to God, to everything around us when we come into ourselves and see, what do we love? As the fact is, it seems to me, and other research that I've been doing, that we are not completely content when we're not in our purpose, or we are not completely allowing ourselves to love into what we love. So let me give you an example. When we're in our wisdom, when we get to a place where things start to not bother us as much, we get more content. Why is that? When we've when we realize that every experience that we have is not it's not a I mean, it may be a trauma. I'm not saying that we haven't experienced true heart-wrenching sadness, that we haven't experienced true pain, that and true confusion. When we look at this and we realize that I'm alive later and I've gotten past that, or I haven't, what is the lesson in that? Everything that we come across in our lives is a lesson for us. It is a journey. It is a path. It is a path that connects us to other people. And when we find those people who are on the same path, we feel joy. And when we start to converse with one another and realize that there are things that we each have gotten over, can start to look at, what does it mean to have a trauma? Why do we tell our stories? Sometimes I think we tell our stories too much, and this is for some people, because we're not all the same. We are completely unique, and yet we're all connected. Just like this finger is unique from this finger, but it's connected, and this finger is unique from this massive hair that I have, which is getting a little warm. Um, but yet they're connected. If I hurt my finger, or if I have I just let it continue to fester and it gets really infected, it's going to affect my hair. It's going to affect my overall health, and it's not going to be right away. And this is how we are as a people, all of us. No matter what our background is, we all are connected. And eventually, a transgression to one is going to be a transgression to others and transgression to ourselves. So, this is where that fine line is of being. How can we be with all these transgressions and be okay with it and be content? When we notice that all of these people who have traumas, including me, including you, are telling their traumas, and they seem to keep having micro traumas after, that maybe they're telling it too much for them. And maybe that's not the right path. Maybe actually expressing not just the trauma, but also the pain, and saying, what is this pain teaching me? What has it allowed me to do that I would not have otherwise done? And then other people are saying, I'm good, no problem, sweep it under the rug, but um, they create microaggressions to themselves, to others around. It affects the health of our social ecosystem. So the biggest thing, and not the only thing, in us having lightness of being is to be able to go into ourselves and question, what was that for? Don't have to question everything. It's up to us. But taking the responsibility for ourselves to not blame, as I will say this over and over again until I change my mind, blame is blinding. The moment we blame someone else, or blame a situation, or blame the president, or blame the corporations, or blame the neighbor, we start taking away our ability to think about what we're going to do about it for ourselves. Does it affect us? And if so, if it's deeply important to us, then what are we going to do about it? It's just as simple as that. If the thing that is being disturbed is our own sense of peace, our own sense of love, our own sense of fun, our own sense of camaraderie, of cooperation, cooperate more. Find what is peaceful, preserve the peace. Don't say it's their responsibility to preserve the peace. Find a way to preserve it, because we are all connected. When we realize that our own stuff is actually our own stuff, we look at it and say, I can put this away, or I can heal it. And today I need to put it away. And another day, I need to heal this right now. Our tears, our pains, everything is an experience. And that's the beauty of life, is being here for that experience, in order to realize the supremely divine being that we each are. And suddenly, the pains are just a lesson, maybe a harder lesson. There are hard lessons that we love, right? Because we love learning about certain things, depending on what our interests are, what our special interest is, maybe, or our intrinsic interest, or something that came from a community. When we bring this up and we look at it, and we at as with curiosity, then we can start to just be with it. And if something is in the way of our being, maybe we need to have less of that thing. Because what do we do as a society? And as a people, we are busy. We are busy. We are busy. We are doing. We are doing, as Jackie said. And when we are busy and doing, we can get really diluted. Yet our purpose is not as strong as it could be. Let me give you an example of that. When we have so many good things to do, either good because they make us money or good because we care about them, we care about all the things, or good because there's a lot of good social things, whatever the good is, quote unquote good. If we do all those things, we can end up being feeling tired and heavy and deluded. When we realize, what do we love? What do we really love? What is the essence of what we love? Then we can focus on a couple of great things and be in our purpose. And if it's not our purpose, if we don't identify with purpose, that's okay. We can be in what we love. We can affect what we love. And that brings us more contentment with our joy. So less is more in this case. But if one of our things that creates what we love is being able to go from thing to thing and bounce around, because some of our brains work like that, then choose enough great things that we can mix it up. It's up to us. It's our responsibility. When those things come to us as being a lesson, and we realize the greatness in those lessons, and we just show up and be, we can be extremely content. I'm going to take a look at the messages again. I love this. Find love, joy, and lightness. Love nature and animals and being in flow with friends and family and just laughing. Yeah. Finding love in and light in anything, practicing gratitude helps with being. Absolutely. This is one of the same things as what we're talking about, because when you know what you love and you realize that everything is a lesson, in order to get to that thing that you love and be with it more, you realize that you're grateful for that. That's actually, it can, just practicing gratitude for some people isn't easy. It wasn't easy for me because I didn't think I got it for a while. I thought I was inherently compassionate, but gratitude, I always had this sense of awe. And it wasn't until I sat with that for a long time, I realized that, oh, I'm not just grateful, I'm intensely grateful. I'm intensely grateful for things that other people say, oh, what a bad day that must have been. But I don't think of whatever it is as a bad day. Right now, I sat in the garage I've been trying to get my car inspected for the longest time. And every time I bring it in, it's got something else wrong. Now, I drive other people's cars and they're much more messed up than mine, but they got theirs inspected. Mine is just going in there forever. But I'm getting everything taken care of. Everything. Um, and it's going, there's some reason for that. And it doesn't matter if there's not, because it is what it is. And when we just be with that, I made I sent my son, uh he came in his girlfriend's car, and I took his girlfriend's car back, and he's now with the car, which is getting fixed and inspected. Now, so much chaos, right? Lots of things, right? As I'm trying to go on the air. I saw I saw mountains. I love seeing mountains. I felt the air that I wouldn't have otherwise been feeling. I I saw sheep. I saw cows. I saw beautiful sunlight. I laughed. I had things that made me laugh. All of these things I'm grateful for. And why am I grateful for this? I'm grateful because I don't have I don't have any need to worry about what's happening. I love doing the live cast. I had to get here on time. I made it happen. I didn't say, "Oh, this is taking so long. I'm going to be late. I'm going to." I just made it happen. If I couldn't make it happen, I would be online with you on my phone. I didn't want to do that. I don't love doing that. Let's take another look at some of the comments here. Oh, thank you for being here, Jackie. That is amazing that you're having contractors. That's going to be so um so helpful for you. So, I invite you to do an exercise. That is to take a moment and try not to think of anything. Nothing. No thoughts. Just 10 seconds of no thoughts. Did you catch yourself thinking? What is happening between those spots, those of trying not to think and trying to know what we need to go to next? If there's nothing, if you can, that's being. It's a time to breathe. It's a time to observe. It's time to be with what we are, what we've been given, what we love. Nothing at all. And when we come out of that, there's our dog, there's our art, there's the person we've helped, there is our religion, there is our family, there is our community, there are the people who are aligned with our energy. I invite you to try this every day. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath every day, and then just let your breath return to its natural pace. Find yourself inside of yourself. Be present right behind your eyes. That's you. Be present in your heart. That's you. This is the body we've been given. And it allows us to experience pain. It allows us to experience love. And when we're inside of it, we can connect to everybody else who is right there being themselves, just like our finger, just like our elbow, just like our hair. It's all connected. So take a moment every day to come into yourself and find yourself, your being in this body you've been given. And then take another moment. You can do this for 10 minutes or 10 seconds. Just say, what am I thinking? Can I not think? That space between thoughts, which is something that my friend Perry Knoppert came up with as a term, the space between thoughts, is so vitally important to this being. And when we find our purpose in there because we connect more to what we love, what we really love, and we let some of the good things go, they're still good, but we let them go so that we can concentrate on the great things that we love. There is where we find lightness. Doesn't mean there's not occasionally hits that come in, things that give us lessons. And those are wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful. Every day, show up for the great things that you say you'll show up for. If you're not aligned to showing up, release yourself from those things. Be in your life, show up for your life, show up for yourself, and the answers will come. I want to check and see more in the comments. Loving ourselves enough to appreciate our experiences, good or bad, can be totally fulfilling. Yes, my friend, Dr. Marcia, this is absolutely true. I don't even believe in good or bad. This may be something that not everybody would agree with, but because it's all a lesson. And if I see something that's not aligned and it's hurting and I feel this, I can be responsible for it. The more we rise to a higher level of being, of presence, of being with the pain, of being with the glory, of being in our divine selves, the more that we can solve the strife and the hurt in the world, because we can make it go away. Especially, it starts at home. I want to thank you all so much for being here. And if you are, if you have been seeing this show for a while and you know somebody who's on the joyful path, this is somebody who has influenced you through volunteerism or through your work or through your community, through your church, through your sports team, and has lifted themselves and is lifting others in your community, I want to know about them. So let me know, hit me up, drop a note in the comments, and I can bring them on the show. If you are in that boat and you have a story, then let's talk. I appreciate you. And if you have not already done so and you like this, please hit like. And if you have not done it already, gently push the subscribe button. I'll be back next week with Yvonne Dam and her path of coaching CEOs that are purposeful and how that is leading to ending the strife in the world. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you next week. Thank you for being here. Ciao.